This is our Unconstitutional Awakening program.
Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
Brought to you by KD Consulting Redesign.
Ahoy there, mateys. It's time to set sail on another episode of Unconstitutional Awakening podcast. I'm your host, Jim Bob Ovalshorts, and tonight we're going to set sail and talk about some really neat stuff with our good friend, John Weber, Canadian John. You guys are familiar with him. He's a regular on this show. Totally sent me a message the other night with about a video from this real interesting fella that I think a lot of us have probably seen on TikTok. He he reminds me of me in the early ages and stuff, and he made this long video here. Guy goes by Perisky TV, and he made this long video here called The Celebrity Conspiracy Theory Iceberg. And I guess the biggest point that stuck out to me is there's a lot of things that I know and understand and what he's talking about. I'll put these pieces together myself, and I thought this would be a great talking subject for everybody. So we might refer to some of it, but I really advise that if you haven't watched this video yet, you hop over there to Perisky TV. I'll make sure the link's in the episode, and subscribe to this guy and check this video out, because it's gonna the things he talks about in his video are gonna be things we talk about more in depth out here on tonight's episode of the show. So you guys know that I'm going to make sure that we have links for all this good stuff, and I'll try to keep it up to date with you guys. And of course, the best place to find all of those links is at our home site there. Of course, you guys should know it by now, but unconstitutionalawakening.com, the home for everything Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast. You can find things there from all of your favorite hosts, and you can find things from every episode and every guest that we've had on. You can get back and show them support and love, and look further into the things that they deal with. And there's a reason I'm doing this, to bring people together, man. That's the point of all this, and bringing unity and stuff like that, because we've got to replace the system that is existing and build a new, I believe. And that's what we're trying to do here, is a bunch of pirates, and Captain Conspiracy is trying his best to lead y'all to freedom. So, but hey, you guys hop on over there at unconstitutionalawakening.com and check everything out. You can find links to watch the show. We thank everybody that's out there on Rumble, Odyssey, and BitChute. I see you guys in the comments and stuff. Hey, man, reach out. We'll totally have you on. We don't care. We love to talk to everybody. We're trying to bring that unity. You can also listen to episodes of that show, as well as get back to all of your favorite podcast apps. And I do mean all of your favorite podcast apps, even ones that aren't listed here. Just go on there and search for unconstitutionalawakening.com or Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast, and we will pop up. There's links to get back to our merch, links to get to our friends in Liberty like Kirk Elliott, Peachy Key Creations, Ammo Can, and Brett Pike with Classical Learner and Homeschools Connected. And there's also going to be a link with this episode for my friend Jason Christoffs, who's doing some good stuff, man. You can check out some things with him. He's great stuff going on, man. There's all the links to get back to everybody's social media and everywhere else that you can find us, like over there on Facebook at Captain Conspiracy and the Freedom Pirates. Man, we were always out there with the memes and all kinds of good stuff. You guys make sure you're out there following us and giving us the love if you can. But you're not being detained, so it's all good if you can. So, but I guess with that said, let's get into the conversation with John and this the celebrity conspiracy theory iceberg, because there's a lot of great stuff here tonight. Who knows? Maybe this might turn into more than one episode. Let's get it. So how is everybody doing tonight? Of course, you guys see I got Luis with me, and like I mentioned, Uncle Johnny TV, my buddy Canadian John, back up here with us, having some good conversation. And he brought a friend along tonight. His name's Nick. He's going to be hanging out with us. He's seeing what kind of good stuff he's got for us as well. Of course, you guys know where you can find. You guys know I'll share them links to get back to Uncle Johnny TV on YouTube and TikTok and everywhere that he's hanging out doing things, and his book and stuff like that. Because, I mean, you know, he is a semi-famous author there, so you guys got to give him some credit to what he's got.
Working on that.
Yeah,
working on that, Jim Bob.
How you doing up there, man? It's been a little while since we talked.
You know what? We're doing good. We're doing good. I just signed the lease for my first. It's a royal blue Toyota Corolla, and we're gonna have the best gas efficiency in the county, boys. So
that's true, and that thing will run forever too.
We got 80 centimeters of snow today. So so I had a work from home day today.
So you know, it's funny that you bring that up because I found that interesting. I heard on the radio today them talking about in the area where I used to live in Buffalo,
4 feet.
Yep.
And talking like 4 or 5 feet, and talking about it being like, oh, you know, they were threatening to shut down, and I was like, well, wait just a minute. I've seen 8 foot and still had to walk my ass to work when I lived in Buffalo. So what the hell changed? What the hell changed in these 10 years? Like,
people are softer nowadays, you know. What can you say?
You know, they melt when they touch the snow. They just melt away.
That's
right.
right.
I want to make comments about this. I didn't want to interject so soon.
I mean, you're extremist. You're in Winnipeg. You're an extremist. You live inside of snow, but
I'm not in Winnipeg. I live in Curtis. I'm right by Toronto, bud. Right beside Toronto.
Yeah.
But what I want to say is I can show you right now. Johnny got 80 centimeters of snow. I think you said, Johnny.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Buffalo got, I think, 4 feet. Buffalo's right across the lake for me. I have not a single fucking snowflake.
So weird.
I'm down here in Georgia, and it was a nice 57 degrees today. I'm still in shorts, cold, bro. So
it's not snowing here. So yeah, it's definitely very localized. It was a nice day outside. It was a nice day.
Yeah. So sorry, I had to interject just because you're only 2.5 hours from me. 3 hours.
2 hours down the road. Yeah, I know.
And 80 centimeters, I don't know, snowflake. Nothing.
We're right on Lake Huron, so we get that. It really does. I saw that like anyone that lived along a Great Lake today got 5 centimeters of snow per hour. That's what I saw. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. I shoveled the driveway twice, so there you go. We out here.
Luis, how's it doing in New York? Is it snowing there?
Nothing at all. Nothing. And if I'm going by the bees, I randomly saw once in the internet a beekeeper saying that it will be a light winter. Well, let's hope for the bees.
As someone who follows the almanac, yeah, I'm gonna sit here and agree with you. It's supposed to be
the almanac also saying that
it's supposed to be a light winter this year.
Yo, are you serious? Because I get the feeling, dude, we had snow lightning last night. Yo, can I tell you?
That they have that in Buffalo too. Snow lightning.
Yeah, man.
I've seen it.
Never really. It was fucked up. Because I'm lying there in bed, and this shows how bad.
What's the difference?
I'll tell you the difference. You're not expecting it, and I thought it was a missile. That's how rotten my brain's gotten from reading the news all the time. I thought I'm literally like, dude,
they're attacking us.
There was a
who's attacking you?
Outside my window. I jumped up. I like fucking went and looked out the window, expecting to see something, you know, and I was like, okay, what was that?
You thought Kim Jong has started slinging missiles already?
I thought they just
it's the Danes.
Yeah, I thought
they're mad at. No, it's the Danes. They're mad at the agreement with the Canadians, and they're attacking. They're retaliating. It's the Danes.
I mean, in reality, you probably need to be watching old Winnie the Pooh there, because you know he gave a stern warning, like we covered the other night on Trudeau there.
Good. I'm glad he did. You know what's funny is most Canadians are probably like they're probably happy that he gave him a stern talking to be honest. Nick, what do you think of that?
I just love the Trudeau. The not Trudeau, Trudeau.
Or Castro Jr. Or we go by Castro Jr. Or
I usually call him Castro Jr. So
we'll do Trudeau. We'll honor Canadian tradition. Trudeau then.
Trudeau.
Fantastic. This is the best pronouncing of his name I've ever heard, to be honest.
Have you met Trudeau?
Yo, did you guys see the deep fake someone made of him and Biden wearing the Mao shirts?
Oh no! Wait, no, I've not seen that.
Oh my god! Just so I can find it real quick.
That's good.
It's actually kind of hard to find because I think it, like, people were reporting on it at first that it was real, that like Trudeau and Biden walked in wearing Mao uniforms. But I think
who would ever? I mean, the only thing I found interesting in the Bali in the G20 was that at least Biden and Trudeau, they both wear traditional garb. And but Biden was walking like a robot. Everybody was like, "What the hell's wrong with his walk?"
I think that's what I'm talking about. But is that?
Oh, they photoshopped the hell out of it, so it looked like they were dressed in military uniforms. And they just, that's good. So they photo.
I found the pictures that he's talking about where they're doing the salute thing, but like as far as the uniforms, I'm having a dig. So
they wiped it. They wiped it clean. It's funny how you're like nowadays you're like, well, was it real or wasn't it? I don't know. Who knows?
Oh, but when Facebook got hacked, the day that Facebook went offline, Facebook was also hacked, and all their accounts essentially were leaked, and it looked like it was potentially the CCP saying, "Oh, you're fucking with us? Okay, we'll fuck with your systems." Mm-hmm. So that report got wiped from the internet. Yeah. I felt like it was a mirage. Everybody deleted everything. But you know what I love? A lot of data. It was the data was there, so it was leaked.
It's like nowadays when something comes up, like the fact that what's that fucking FTX asshole's name? Freed, that guy, the CEO. When it comes out that he gave 38 million to Democratic parties.
200? No, it's worse. It's 200.
Yeah. I mean, shit.
200 million.
He personally gave 38, and I mean, however, how much else, whatever. And I mean, if that number's gone up, I wouldn't be surprised. But having
200 million, and he also took 300 million for himself when they did a 420 million capital raise. From 69 investors.
But so it's like
that's the weird part.
So it's pretty clear something fishy that's going on, right? But you Google it, and all you get, the whole first page is these whack ass PolitiFact. These fact check things that are not actually fact checking. Do it, I'm telling you, and it's like it's not.
Has that just been following the real story from Twitter?
No, it's biased. It's like these biased PolitiFact or whatever. And it's like they just say anything that's kind of anti-democrat, like Democratic Party is always it's fake.
The New York Times was called out for writing a puff piece. And they have a conference coming up, and it was Eric Adams was the first speaker, and he was the second speaker, and the third speaker was the CEO of TikTok, like the U.S. division.
Yeah.
So that's fascinating. He's still scheduled to speak. So and he was DMing somebody, and he was talking openly about, I fucked up. We da-da-da. And everybody's like, is this real? Like from his official Twitter account, he was DMing journalists, and the journalists were like, "This man is just too stupid."
It's PolitiFact, and they're saying that it's accusation.
So they like to say they jump on these things, and then so what happens, boys?
They're proving that this actually happened, that the laundering was real. Like it's happening in real time.
It seems very obvious to me that there was something going on there. Having said that, do I think that Republicans were probably doing it too? Absolutely, guys. I got to tell you.
Very likely, parties were involved.
I find that
he did donate. He did donate to the Republicans. He donated
200,000. I know it's much less, but I'm sure their scheme just hasn't really been discovered yet. Or they're with Crypto.com. They're chilling with Matt Damon.
Oh no! Did you see Genesis is also potentially going to collapse? And Genesis
it's not good, man.
If Genesis does not get $1 billion next Monday, they're fucked.
I actually didn't know that.
FTX needs $8 billion by next week.
Not good.
FTX thinks
can I jump in on this one?
Yeah.
Sorry. I just want to the discussion of like FTX, Republican, Democrat. Like you have to think about that. FTX is like a lot of the biggest investors were Tom Brady, Democrat.
They don't know for sure. They knew he probably had stock or something, but they're not sure how much they invested.
I posted a video of Tom
They're all
Brady.
getting sued, though. They're all getting sued.
Look at the other investors. What I mean is, like, look at the investors into FTX. There's no way it was Democrat, Republican. because a lot of the big investors were Democrats. For sure.
And you know what? Maybe you're right, Nick. I mean,
Tom Brady's Republican, though.
Yeah.
Is he Republican? Okay,
this is a great segue, but this is a great segue. Okay,
he's a MAGA Republican
because in the search,
he supports Trump.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That MAGA hat in his locker.
I wouldn't have known that. I would have pinned him as a Democrat for sure. Like, not even.
Well, because he's dating a supermodel, you're automatically like, oh, he's dating the good-looking people.
And then just like how many fucking like famous people are Republicans? Not many.
Of course.
Well,
there's a lot of celebrities are closeted.
There's a lot. There's plenty.
They don't say it.
Well,
Jim Bob.
Well, I'm saying, all right, on my premise, you know that I believe that, it's all the two wings of the same nut, and I'll even take shots at the Libertarian Party too, because they're just a diet version of the rest of it, and
that's right.
But okay, because the subject that you had brought up for this evening was that fantastic video that I told you guys about in the opening by that Parakeet TV. That dude's kind of everywhere. Like he's it's really cool stuff. But when I was searching for some information, and it just so happened that they were talking about that judge releasing the Epstein list, a weird article popped up to me that was, why has the DOJ leaked the Epstein client list? If they're
even Elon Musk was asking that. He was asking, well, why don't you release the list? Because he knows he's innocent.
And I believe that there's people from both sides out there on that list. I'm excited to see what happens when they unseal that document, because as I mentioned, we were going into
that judge is going to have a bad fate next week.
Oh, sure.
He's gonna get in a car accident.
Sure.
He should not get on a small plane, on a jacuzzi,
helicopter. No
helicopter.
His own car.
Don't get in an Uber.
His own car. Like
his own car. Yeah.
That's judge.
Like, and there's
that judge is screwed. He's gonna do the right thing, hopefully.
But the way this can, all these different a common thing I noticed when I was watching this video, and other things that I've done in my research and putting a lot of these same things together with this kind of iceberg about the different levels of celebrity stuff. A common factor has been a lot of this interesting sexual abuse stuff.
Yeah.
Pictures with Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine, whatever the fuck I can't say it.
Ghislaine.
Yeah, that chick. That chick that may or may not still be in that prison down there in Florida. Like who truly knows?
Well, she also likely was the mastermind. She likely was the mastermind. Her dad was the spy and the very rich.
That's right. No one talks about that.
He was a billionaire in the media industry.
Oh yeah, and his company also is behind most of the education books in the United States.
That's horrifying.
Of course he is.
Yeah, of course. Oh yeah, naturally.
Yeah, you want to feel uncomfortable.
Baby.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. The
baby.
Actually, if you do enough digging, when you start looking into these standardized tests, you can chase it back to his companies. Like that's
Obama. That's when Obama sold out then, because Obama's the one that sold out to these institutions. And guess what? That institution they gave him a very nice, lucrative deal.
It's been going on for a while
for $60 million. Netflix gave Obama $100 million.
That was a decent. I did enjoy that animal.
No, dude. That documentary probably was a secondary payment. I'm sure that first payment was the $100 million flat out. Yeah, never created anything, and then like 7 years later, I'll tell you, it was well produced. They hired the best of the best.
Yeah, they did.
It didn't need his voice. It was somebody did everything, and all they did was give him a script. Read this.
All right.
He didn't do anything.
So the greatest leader of all time.
Now that's funny, because a good lawyer will take you a long way, and that was one of the first things in that Parakeet video was about one of the greatest cases everybody has ever heard about, which of course is the OJ case.
Dude,
he was pointing out
fascinating angle.
He was pointing out the fact that there are a lot of dead ends that you run into.
It seems like damning evidence that it's super obvious the son, O.J. Simpson's son, Jason, who had stabbed like 3 people before this incident, like fucking did it. Like, it's crazy.
But remember, this is in the 90s. It was much harder for the general public to know about any of this.
That's fair.
This happened. That had happened in 2008.
Done.
It would have been a whole different universe, and the son would have not been able to escape the repercussions of his actions. But it makes sense that he did that.
He was pointing out a story, because he was pointing out, they were pointing out a story where they, what's her name, and her husband had made
Nicole Brown
had made reservations at a restaurant that he worked at, and then had canceled them, and he threw like a temper tantrum in the restaurant because of it happening.
Well, he had a couple screws loose there, whether it was schizophrenic or whatever. The psychiatrist called it Jekyll and Hyde syndrome. They call it something different now, but
sure,
that's what because it's literally the guy would snap. I think bipolar, whatever you want to call it.
It's a variant of what people would call bipolar.
Well, and there's a whole bunch of interesting ties that go back into like the OJ stuff and other people that became famous off of the OJ stuff, like the Kardashian family,
of course,
and and just how there was so much going on in there too that people, these are some of the same people that probably likely are also tied back into whatever the hell is going on with like that client list and all these people and these sexual assaults and stuff.
I mean, in the end,
minimal degrees. You know what I'm saying? Like there's minimal degrees between these people. And
they're 1 degree of separated from each other. Oh, they're 1 degree
all day, and that's. I don't know. I feel like
you're only 2 degrees or 3 degrees from these people already.
Absolutely true.
You guys are only 1 degree from Justin Trudeau because I met him, and you guys know me. Just for the record. So,
but you can't call Justin Trudeau. You can't call him, so you're not that close. If you could call him, let me text Trudeau.
Right. I can't call him. You're right. I can't call him. That's fair. He did tell me I had a sick mo. Okay, but let me say this, Jim Bob. The things that jump out to me right away is like fucking. First of all, that Ron Goldman, the guy that was with Nicole and that got murdered as well. He's like a black belt taekwondo guy. His hands were bruised up to shit, and like it looked like he had fought hard, like before he died. And OJ didn't have a scratch on him. And then you couple that with like, okay. That fucking chase he did made no sense. He literally just took the heat off his son. And then they found the hat and the knife in that fucking storage closet and the dog hair. I mean, you start looking at all of it and it seems so fucking obvious to me. The son did it. They never even investigated at all. They didn't even look at him.
And then when like he had mentioned, and I did a little check into that, how it was brought up to police and, the lawyers and stuff about his son's involvement possibly, and they just were like, nope,
not interested. Thanks for the info.
Well, remember the LAPD is extremely corrupt organization.
Easily bought.
Some issues, eh?
Easily bought.
Little.
Isn't there a treasurer? So there's like a guy who ran for treasurer who right now has 10,000 more votes than the mayor of LA.
Oh, that's in Arizona. We covered that the other night. Did it happen in LA?
Did you guys talk? Is that okay?
So in Arizona, it's like 80,000.
No, because the guy was just super hard on like. I fucking love that. I was like,
no, but that means in LA there might have been fuckery too.
Yeah.
Don't say.
I mean, how the hell do you think Nancy Pelosi won for 34 years? That woman rigged San Francisco's election probably for the past few decades.
Show me somebody that actually supports her. Like, I'm still looking for that.
I don't know anybody in New York that supports the current governor except a few idiots that don't understand anything that's going on.
TikTok supports her, funny enough, because they banned both my videos about her husband.
They banned the videos. They didn't ban you.
I made a video about how and I didn't even use the word, but basically how voting is just a soft version of slavery. But I kind of beat around the bush around it, and my whole account went bye bye.
Are you shitting me, Jim Bob? Oh my God.
3 years, 140,000 followers.
No fucking way.
I've been back.
John, could you help him out?
I've been back 1 week.
Fast. What
I've
the
been
hell
back
did you
one.
do?
I've been back 1 week, and I'm almost to 1,000. So we're getting there.
Okay, that's unbelievable, man.
You got to help him recover, man, because you want.
Yeah, I'll figure out a way. Jim Bob, we'll talk after this. We'll talk after this.
I gotta ask the question. If you wondering why Nancy Pelosi got voted in, and then you asked, how did the San Francisco voters vote her in? Does that question itself not answer itself? San Francisco voted Nancy Pelosi. Like, how did that question answered itself?
I mean, there was a video I just saw. It was outside of Twitter's headquarters. It was a man with his neck just bulging and bleeding out. Uh-huh. San Francisco, like that whole city is a cess. Like that, LA, San Francisco, they're both so broken.
That's what Nick's saying, I think.
What I'm saying is, like,
I just spoke to somebody from San Francisco. He's like, "What? Who the fuck's voting for?" He doesn't know who the fuck's voting for anymore.
You get voted in as a politician based on the demographic of the area that you run in. And
I'm sure it's not the Latinos voting for that.
Probably be Nancy Pelosi and not Ron DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis has done two stupid things. If it wasn't for those two stupid things, that guy would be pretty well off. But he did stupid shit.
Can we hit the rewind button here? Because when I brought up that treasurer guy, I thought it was a comment on, like, it's funny that people were so not into either of the mayoral candidates in LA. They didn't vote for them, but they did take the time to vote for the treasurer, right? But are you guys suggesting that maybe
the same scam was played in Arizona and played in LA?
So what's the scam? So what?
Oh, they actively knew the vote tally and they took a portion of the votes out.
So it's like, it's not a miracle that this treasurer is just so popular. It's that they took a bunch of fucking mayoral votes to it. I
have a functioning brain, and I know how people behave. And anybody with two brain cells that to connect together can coalesce the idea that the majority of the public votes down the line. For sure, I would have thought that. And that's the case in America. That's the thing.
Yeah,
you're Canadian, so I understand you have like four main parties. So like the thing gets spread out, but we also don't have ranked voting.
You guys
would also solve a lot of things.
But yet they still got old blackface Trudeau doing his thing up there somehow, huh?
Jim Bob, I'm gonna send you a link. I'm gonna send you a link of a party in Canada that's not well known. Okay, give me a second.
Is it going to be the Pirate Party?
No, it's the Rhinoceros Party.
Okay. Rhinos?
The Rhinos?
They have the best fucking commercial.
Republican in name onlys? That's what our rhinos are, Republican in name
Just
only.
wait for this shit. Okay, sorry, boys. Here, I'm back. Here we go. Jim Bob, what's the best way to send this to you?
You can send it in the chat of this, or you can shoot it to me. Yeah. Wherever you want to shoot it to. This chat or Instagram, whatever you want quicker.
So okay, let's quickly aside. I meant to ask you this earlier, boys, and Jim Bob, Luis, what happened in Poland? Off the cuff thoughts.
Oh, I looked into it. I was talking to some Ukrainians and such, like, so what looks like, and Jim Bob probably did some analysis too, but what it looks like, it was the air defense system malfunctioned and the rocket just hit Poland. It was a ground to air. So first of all, it's ground to air. Let's start off with that. It's a ground to air missile that hit the ground. So that was a mistake.
Oh, okay. That's
no, it's not nothing bad. Or it was Baldwin again. The Baldwin always
Baldwin?
getting in trouble.
Baldwin
Always getting in trouble.
has got to stop with that.
You got to stop with that. The Baldwin's got to stop. To
Someone needs to
anybody
stop
listening
that.
only, they have to watch the video version.
So I saw this post that was going viral. Is that speech where Baldwin does like the "You don't deserve a cup of coffee," the business speech. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I forgot that movie, but it's not.
I forget what it's called. Anyways, I just said, how many people on set did he kill in this movie?
You know, that actually brings up some more.
He's batting 2 for 2 because on set he shot 2 people.
Like his buddy here, you know, that had a whole bunch of people go up missing after all of the allegations.
Three of his accusers are dead. All of them from mysterious circumstances. And that's not conspiracy. That is just true. That's just
5
fact.
Oh God, it's worse. I mean, the
5 are gone.
What about his creepy Frank Underwood videos that he does, man?
Oh my God!
Like, it's fucking amazing.
the thing is, it shows you the insane hubris that man has.
He's like, you can't do nothing. Yeah, yeah.
I will literally confess to you live on
right
live
in front
here.
of you.
So when it came out, I remember the moment it came out because everybody was like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Yeah.
Now, what they mentioned that was really good. That was his cup. What the cup means was a ceremonial cup from the Queen.
Yeah.
I mean,
fucking
that guy was
disturbing.
Wait,
Are
you talking about his friend, the Queen of England, that he hangs out with, and with Maxwell while they're hanging out on the royal thrones and such?
Correct. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that picture there.
The knighted Kevin Spacey.
That picture is shocking. That's fucked.
Now, who shot that picture? It's probably the
was it Prince Andrew?
No, you mean little retard? Sorry, it's a bad word. Micropenis Duke.
Yes. Yeah.
According to him, he is a profusely sweating micropenis.
We're talking about this guy?
Yes.
Yes.
According to him, he has a
according to him, he
can't sweat. He doesn't sweat and has a micropenis. That's him. Right. That's his words. Right. Not mine.
Didn't the European folks make a whole song about him? About being a sweaty, sausage fingered something?
Oh man.
Oh, the sausage fingers is his uncle. Or dad. I don't know. They're all
right.
Inbred.
They're all related there.
Brother.
There's a whole bunch of inbreeding going on over there.
That's why
it's the aristocratic inbreeding. That's
why you got the sausage fingers.
He doesn't have a penis. He has sausage fingers.
Is that Ireland or England where the inbreeding is going on?
Both.
Don't insult the Irish.
Did someone say France?
Not inbreeding when it's a different species. So, like, sheep.
There you go. If it's reptilian, is it really inbreeding? They don't come out of eggs. It's a whole different thing.
Terrible.
So how to throw that in?
Love to all my Irish people.
But there's, there's a lot of ties back into this, into like weird occult stuff. Like another thing that was in that video that you sent me, man. Again, I'm gonna keep telling you guys to go check that video out. Hopefully, you checked it out before you actually watched the episode. Like I said.
And Jim Bob, just a quick note. I'm friends with that dude on TikTok, so I'll try and get him on here. Maybe next
I would
week.
love to link up with him. Actually, he's a really cool guy.
I think you two would hit it off, so I'm gonna try and set that up.
And but he was talking about the Astro World concert in there and all of the wild ass occult stuff. Yeah, dude.
I knew some parts, but I didn't know that whole connection with the music video
with Pearl Jam 20 years earlier or whatever.
Thing blew my fucking mind.
Mine too, actually.
Dude, and the fact the song is called Escape Plan.
Yes.
Like, I made a joke before I knew that. I made a joke about the fact of if only he would, people would have listened to this song the day of the tragedy. It's a bad joke, I know, but that was the joke I made. And I didn't realize he released that song that day. Dude, and that video of him.
I mean,
there's going to be some more visual references for you listeners out there.
And he's going, yeah. Can you show that, Jim Bob?
Well, I want to show this. There was all kinds of, and this is Look, for those of you that are listening, dude, make sure you come and check this out because there's a bunch of things that we'll show on this one. But like, there's like the references back to just occult type pictures and stuff. Like this is supposed to be like how it was set up, like the gates of hell or whatever. Like
that's from a famous artist that I keep forgetting his name.
I can't think of it off the top
of my head. It's an amazing painting. You have to see that painting.
It is. It really is an amazing painting in real life.
It is.
And then,
it's supposed to be a vagina or a mouth.
Oh wait, should we go? Wait, guys, are you saying it's a beautiful piece of art? Let's go throw mashed potatoes at it. Am I right?
Let's do it, bro. What we should do right now? Let's do it, bro. See, I'm big into that era of art. Like that's always been an era of art that fascinates me.
I know. I'm making fun of those.
By the way, that painting's probably gigantic. And what are we gonna protest? We're not gonna protest oil.
We're
Dude, protest,
I'm saying those. Yeah,
carbon taxes. Protest carbon taxes.
I like that.
Protest carbon taxes.
All right, so
Canadians, you're first.
It'll take this. This is funny, and it'll take you some digging to find. But back in 2009. There were a bunch of protests going on in Atlanta, and I designated drive for a handful of friends that wanted to go up there with their protest signs to protest cow eggs.
Oh, what?
Wait, what did you say? You said
cow eggs.
Cow eggs.
Cow eggs.
Cow eggs. And dude, they made elaborate.
Elaborate?
So they made all these elaborate signs that said, that cow eggs kill, and we have to stop the cow eggs and all these guys. And they showed up behind these protesters that were on the fucking news with their signs out there screaming about cow eggs and how we needed to stop them. And dude,
is this like a version of Birds Aren't Real?
Yes, 100%. And like they just kept going on and on about how the cow eggs were going to kill everybody. Completely disrupted this protest because everybody was like, "What the fuck are these guys doing?"
Well, it's like stop the oil. It's similar to the stop oil thing.
And like
yeah,
and I'm kind of stuck in the middle because I'm driving these guys around that night. So of course I'm going to join in the shenanigans. Well, we're trying to get out of there, and everybody met back at the car except for one dude. He was lost. And when we come across him at the intersection, he was actually about to be doing a one-on-one interview with some dude from the news, and he was 5 sheets to the wind drunk. And like we snatched him in through the passenger seat of the car and sped off because we were like, dude, no, like you don't need to be talking to the news right now with your cow egg
make a
sign.
shit show.
And, like, don't make it worse than it already is. It's just wild things like that. But it's I mean, I know we kind of jumped a little off subject there, but it's weird to see some of the people. There's a lot of interesting people that have come out of the woodwork over that Astro World thing, and some of it does get a little QAnonish, I guess. But I
hate it's that
there is some truth to it. There is some truth.
Theme. Well, Jim Bob, it's like it's a constant theme. The liars, those in control, the powers that be, what they do is they sprinkle truth into the lies, right? So it's very hard to separate it when it comes down to it. And that's what we spend our time bickering about. And I can tell you, when you look at that fucking, okay, coincidence is definitely a thing, right? But what's that line in that Batman movie where they say as a detective, you don't believe in coincidence? And it's kind of like, okay, it's like, okay, here, let me give you an example. You know what? Fuck it. That's anecdotal. What I'm trying to say is just that Pearl Jam one.
That threw me off, bro.
You're telling me he randomly chose to put that shirt on in a rap video?
You don't choose that. Nothing's random.
Why?
Nothing's random.
Why would you?
And also, that's an old shirt.
It's an old
Travis
shirt.
Scott's young.
It's an obscure reference. The fact the number 8's involved so much, it's very fucked up, man. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, I happen to be able to find a picture of the shirt, so hang on, I'm pulling it up now.
And it's scary. And that video, Jim Bob, if we could watch that for a sec of the one, you could probably find a 10-second clip of it on YouTube, and it's just him saying, yeah, and like he's going, yeah.
Oh, when he's screaming into the microphone?
The auto-tune going. And the dead body is being lifted, like crowd surfed towards the paramedics.
Again, this is going to be kind of graphic, but you guys check this out. This is kind of
it's disturbing. It's disturbing, yeah,
to say the least.
Interesting. In China, that word is meant to it's more a curse. Like if a Chinese man in Chinese says to you, "I hope you have an interesting year," it means I hope you have a cursed year. Just for the record.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a real thing.
Well, check this out. I'm gonna play this little clip right here.
I mean, he looks like a man.
He is looking directly at that cameraman, and he is right beside that dead body.
And it sounds like he's just hemming like a ritual.
He's just going, yeah. Like that's not part of a song. He's just going, yeah.
Okay, so the guy that I got this video from.
Fun, man.
He was making note of something we've talked about before about using sound to move water and to move sand and stuff.
Did you notice that he plays that sound? He plays the sound when he shows the kids.
And
shows the kids.
And how it happens to make that same hexagonal shape that is the sound that apparently resonates from Saturn.
Dude, that's so weird you guys just brought that up. That came across my TikTok feed this week. I had not seen that video in a long time. It's that Asian man that first did that test, right?
Kishimoto,
right?
I say everybody's name wrong, Nick. You've noticed from right off the bat, I will butcher a name in a heartbeat, bro. Like, that's just how I roll.
You can't butcher my name, but it's only 6 letters by its shortest name, so don't worry. Nick Orr, and it kind of sounds like something that it shouldn't.
Sorry, I've known Nick my whole life, and that was fucking hilarious. NICORR. That's it. That's
NIC Nick with no K, and then ORR like Bobby Orr, who you probably don't know because he's a hockey player.
No, I bet Louis knows who Bobby Orr is.
I am a hockey fan, man. I have always been a hockey fan.
So there is a small chance, very small, that I am related to Bobby Orr. Like very, very small.
Let's go.
I've never been a sports fan, but hockey has always done it for me. Like that's something I enjoy. We even have some like AAA. You'd consider them, I guess, like AAA ball teams, like we have for baseball or whatever. Like
same thing.
We've got 2 here in the state of Georgia, actually. One in Macon and one in Savannah. And
the only difference between baseball and hockey is baseball is stupid in the States because it's like 1,000 different leagues.
Right.
It's hard to keep track. I will say that.
You have to, Hockey is you're good. Kind of not really, but you make it. You're good.
Way less hockey players. I'm coaching a hockey team, by the way, Jim Bob. Coaching a 17 to 14 year old team. Nice. We're 3-1.
Oh,
we're 3-1, baby.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. You know what? As lame as conformist as this sounds, fellas, it's pretty cool to be in my hometown, coaching local kids.
That's not conformist. That's beautiful, bro. Like
doing the little. Like that. You know what it comes down to is doing those little things in my life where if we don't make it TikTok famous, whatever, maybe I taught that kid something, and there
you go.
That's what we gotta. That's the stuff that keeps us going, right?
You know what?
We talk about a lot of dread. We always talk about a lot of dread and doom and gloom here because we're realists, but.
Do any of them know you're have any of them found you on TikTok?
I'm waiting for one of them to bring it up. I do think
really nobody's noticed yet.
Yeah. Well, dude,
funny.
Nick was telling me the other night that he had people coming up to him, showing him in the city this guy they know, and that's what actually prompted the call. He's like, "That's John. That's my buddy."
Yeah. I would say Johnny's slightly starting to get noticed. I had buddies come up to me and they were telling me to watch his videos. Buddies that I was friends with Johnny way before them, and they wanted to just show me his videos. I was like, yeah, but I know.
You were getting the free preview.
That's right. But I'd already watched it, so they were just behind the 8 ball, I would say, I guess.
Random tangent. Jim Bob, I took us off the rails.
No, that's actually fine. I wanted to say, another great thing that was brought up, and it's one of my favorite subjects that I've always talked about because I'm kind of a fanboy for the fellow, but the guy made mention about Charles Harrelson, Woody Harrelson's father,
dude,
and was talking about some of the fascinating things that he's into, and I've always been super fascinated by that.
Have you seen the movies he's in? Have you just seen the movies Woody Harrelson's in? Like the crazy. By the way, the person's kind of
probably my favorite actor. Probably my favorite actor.
He's kind of
as well.
though.
And he's
not a normal guy.
He's an interesting fellow because he doesn't actually
True
own a house.
Detective, unbelievable. Like,
He
yeah,
lives
sorry.
He lives in his motorhome all the time and moves around with the movies.
Okay, that's your kind of guy right there, Jim Bob. I know.
He really is. He's very nomadic.
Yeah.
He's very tied back when he gets to places. When he was here in Atlanta, in the town that I lived in, filming Zombieland 2, he was known for going out to like the walking trails and stuff that are out there because he's like very connected back into nature and totally into smoking weed.
That's not an act. That's not a character.
And that's not an act.
A lot
that's
of his
who he
characters
is.
are like that, so it's
He's
kind of like
super off.
channel.
Yeah, but I dig that guy. Like he's one of my favorites. But when you learn about his father, also not only being an interesting case of in the prison and the murders and stuff, but he's photographed as possibly being one of those 3 people that were there during the JFK assassination.
The 3 Amigos or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That's some wild shit.
Well, so it's crazy like that. You watch that interview that that my boy shows, and I always had heard that Woody Harrelson's father is a hitman. That's the way I had always heard it. Woody seems to very clearly imply that his father was a member of the CIA. Like he had a CIA hand.
Well, that's the thing.
And
he was a hitman for the CIA.
That's but they always man, it's fucked up, dude.
I mean, there's how many cases of agents getting burned?
Elvis Presley,
very common.
Who have there's so many, and they would burn you like that easy.
And another one that he brings up actually with the burning and the government involving and stuff was the Brittany Murphy case. Like, and her mother being tied back to the government and all kinds of things, and then turning around and being raided by the government, and then
you see a common theme too with certain that reminds me. Her case specifically reminds me of James Holmes, whose father was obviously involved in the bait and switch British currency scam. He created the algorithm. James Holmes' father created that algorithm that ripped everyone off, and he was about to testify. That's just true. That's just true.
I mean, don't you find it interesting that Pelosi got hit in the head, but Pelosi opened the door? By the way, it came out in the body cam footage that Pelosi opened the door.
I hope that's true, man.
Wait. I gotta interject here. Pelosi got hit in the head.
No, her husband, Paul.
Her husband. No, she was already hit in the head decades ago.
No,
that's not. Have you heard her talking?
No, here's the thing. She's sharp, man. She's sharp. They've been doing.
You've not heard her get off.
No. Hold on. She's been doing insider trading better than.
That's not her. That's people that rap for her.
Can I interject about anything other than all of this other shit that she's been doing? What I want to say is, how do you stay in office for that long without?
The guy had a DUI too. He had recently had a DUI.
Oh yes, absolutely he did.
So did
he was also Canadian, wasn't he?
He was Canadian with the hammer.
Oh, the other guy was Canadian, and he was a man of the night. So there's that too.
I get that Nancy Pelosi is probably a little bit fucked up in the head. Obviously, she's money hungry. They all are. But how...
John dropped for a second, but we'll be back.
How do you stay in power that long?
Corruption.
If you're that stupid, how do you stay in power that long?
No. I mean, when I say stupid, I mean like in the sense that no, she's actually smart. It's just she's been slowly losing it.
For sure.
She probably was super sharp like 10 years ago, but she's been slowly losing it very, very abruptly. But she is so dark. She has a network of people under her. This is not a person that is doing all herself. Like I had seen those politicians in Puerto Rico. They just had dirt on everybody. Nancy Pelosi likely has dirt on almost every member of Congress.
Yeah.
I don't like TV shows, but I think like
Epstein. She's the third in line to the presidency. She's way more powerful. Epstein was a little bitch. I'm telling you, Julien was probably
not anymore. It's not third in line to the presidency anymore, right?
Not.
Okay. No, not anymore. Not anymore. No, correct.
Wait. Oh
correct.
Yeah, she stepped down.
But I would agree. my point was more that you can be an idiot, you can be money hungry, but like you don't stay in power for 32 years without being a fucking smart little bitch.
No, just so many politicians play the role of being dumb so that people can't perceive the idea that they're capable of.
We've talked about this before, Louise.
Yeah,
We've
I
talked
told you.
about this.
They're
Yeah,
not
we've
dumb.
talked
They're
about this.
playing dumb
They're
because
playing
that's the
dumb.
tactic of this very smart and rich.
Oops!
But if
I made an oopsies. Oopsie.
I'm
the
capable of this type of crime.
Republican Party doesn't put their power behind Ron DeSantis, and then they're done.
I mean, Ron DeSantis has already Wall Street behind him.
So, yeah,
well, if you put money behind Donald Trump, you may as well kiss the presidency goodbye.
I mean, Donald Trump has his own army. Like, he can fund a campaign himself, partially.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very interested to see how it goes.
Bloomberg funded his campaign
himself. It's fascinating for us to watch in Canada. And, like, I was saying to Nick the other night, right, Nick? Me and Nick, okay, if we could rewind, guys, to, God, how scary is this, Nick? 6 years ago, when Trump first ran, me and you both hated him. And you still do.
I've always hated him. I still hate him.
Yeah, you still do. And that's fine. And I hate everyone equally across parties. But I said to Nick last night, boys, and Jim Bob, Louise, as Americans, you'll be interested to hear as kind of an unbiased, I mean, I'm biased. We all have biases. But as someone from the outside commenting and who's been very critical of all sides, but also definitely Trump, you know? I mean, Trump literally said in the 90s if he was going to run, he'd run Republican because their voters are dumber.
Like, that was completely fake. That was faked. That never happened.
That's not real.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
not real.
it's okay.
Yeah, but
Tony, here, let me give my
Nick, shut up for a second.
I'm just saying that was completely fake. I know what you're talking about. That quote was 100% fake.
Okay. I could see him saying that. He said, grab the... I mean, it wouldn't be the most outlandish thing he's ever said.
Yes, but he was Democrat.
You can grift either side.
He was Democrat his entire life.
He was Democrat because the fucking mayor of New York was, and he would try and get him for tax fucking breaks, and he did.
And he got him. Was Republican.
He made
good on him.
Go back.
No,
the mayor of New York was Republican.
Well, what about the guy?
Yeah, you're right about that.
No, the guy in the 80s. Like, Trump was getting grants in the 80s.
Oh, yeah, in the 80s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Trump was like, I don't know.
But then in the 90s, it was all Republicans until 2000, until we got
until Obama. It was all Republicans.
What I'm trying to say is
we've had a Republican mayor that fixed the cities. Republicans actually fixed the city, and then we got Democrats to destroy it.
Here's the best thing that could ever happen with not even Canadian politics, American politics. The best thing could ever happen if you took Republican economics and mixed them with Democrat socialism, or not socialism, but like social views, in the sense that you had a semi-mix of them both.
Yeah, the center, brother. That's what we push on this show.
So that's what's happening. So
yeah,
what's happening is
I hope
the new middle is happening, and those are the new Republicans that are coming out. The half of them are Latinos. Those Republicans are progressive Republicans. Those Republicans are the Democrats of early 2000s. Because the way you can look at it is, so you look at the lines of what's been happening in Europe. It looks like this in Europe. But in the U.S., the left did this.
Yeah. Oh, the left has become.
That's not completely true. I completely disagree with that. I completely disagree because I'm left. I'm talking about
American left has gone completely psychotically left.
Yeah.
But I completely disagree with that because I would align with the Democrats and I align with Justin
haven't
Trudeau.
Seen the crazy policy. But no, I mean, first of all, Canadian left, not exactly exact version of our left.
No, it's
our
not.
left has gone, and you can check out the data from other people independently saying American left has gone further left than the Europeans.
So listen, too. This is my other thing, right?
Left. It's not the good left. It's the bad left.
What did I say to you, Nick, last night? I said to him, look, I don't vote. I worked in politics for 10 years. I haven't voted in 12. I don't vote. So listen, if you put a gun to my head right now and I was American, I'm voting. And it was 2016. If it was 2020, and I knew what I know now, where the oil policy and the COVID policies, I'm voting Trump based on those two policies, right? And that's what I came to that epiphany last night. Now, I'm not saying I'm a mega guy because I think the whole system's rotten, Jim Bob, right? Two sides of the same shit coin. But I had that kind of weird realization, and now I'm sitting here going, God damn it, wouldn't it be an amazing little fairy tale if it turns out like Trump was really trying to do something good? I don't think he is, by the way.
Remember, this is why we took out the bird out of the coins. We took the bird out of the coins.
Listen, Steve Bannon is in favor. Steve Bannon is in favor of dismantling the Fed, and I did not know that. And now that I know that,
wait, you don't know that Steve Bannon was like super like not what people think he is.
Well, look, Luis, I'm getting new to this stuff. I knew what the media told me about Steve Bannon, and then I saw
you knew nothing about him.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
No, that's not fully true. The media tells you bullshit. But all you have to do is read about real articles and actually.
But the problem is, it's so hard today to find real articles, and I have friends that are like, "What's that?" I'm like, "It's still a valid news source." I mean, actually, you know what's good? NewsGuard. It's an interesting counterpoint because you can then show people alternative news and then they're certified by establishment.
Okay, so Luis, can I hit you? Nick, give me a sec here. Let me just say, this is what it is, and I've noticed it on some of my TikToks recently. And Luis, what you just said is 100% true. I got people telling me, and I don't take this lightly, and it is kind of ridiculous and absurd, and it's a manifestation of our little society we live in. But there's people that say they come to me rather than news outlets to get somewhat unbiased news. Like, I have my own personal bias, but having said that, this is what we do now, right? You dismiss the other person based on their source, and you dismiss them
you have to read both.
That's you know what you do?
Like, I constantly read both, and it's infuriating because one is
you got to read both sides. You really do. But it's amazing, Luis, because what we've done, it's like, oh, people see a post I make talking about the FTX thing. They go, "You're a fucking scum-sucking Trump supporter," and I'm like, listen, I wish it was so easy for you to dismiss me as something you hate, but I hate to tell you, I'm not that. Listen, you know what I mean? I'm actually not. I'm not going to make it that easy on you. I'm not going to let you just write me off and dismiss me. But that's what these sides do, right? And the Republicans do it too. They do it too, where it's, oh, you're just a fucking snowflake, whatever. And sometimes we're not. Sometimes
they need to make a new one. Snowflake is
so.
Yeah.
I made it.
I like Snowflake.
Years ago, 3 years ago, when I first started my first TikTok, that again recently got banned. I'm gonna keep calling y'all. Go follow the new one.
We're gonna talk about
Captain Conspiracy 101 is the new one, so you guys make sure you find that. But so I have for years, being a guy that I guess you would consider down the middle, being a pirate. I have been. The left has called me a Trump supporter. The right has called me a snowflake. The middle has called me a nut job, and I'll even get in there and piss off anarchists because
call a threat against democracy by the intelligence community.
I've been called a threat, but there's been articles written about my crew, and I mean
Can I just say one thing before? Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
No, I know a lot of people would call you Christopher Columbus, but I'm gonna say that your name's not be Jim Bob. It should be Louis Riel.
Louis Riel. That's a very Canadian cut, Nick.
Oh yeah,
they're not gonna know who
I think
Louis
you should
Riel
go
is.
by the name Louis Jim Bob, but because it'll just be epic.
I dig that. No, I dig that. And when I popped up on TikTok with this ridiculous ass flag of mine and my pirate hat, people really didn't know what to take about me. Like they were, I was drawing people out of the woodwork just because of the flag, and they didn't know, they were wanting explanations on that. And I'm just kind of brushing over that and continuing on with other stuff, just trying to educate people. And it's funny because there isn't a name that I haven't been called. I look for new things. And throughout the course of all this, I started using the term walnut or pine cone to refer to people that were just brain dead. Like, when they'd get in here and they'd be name calling and stuff like that. Like, I did not realize how powerful saying, "Well, aren't you just an adorable walnut?" could be. Oh my God! You just caused people's brain to just melt down. Like they don't even know how to handle that.
I can't believe I love that because I literally told the same thing to we won a real close game last weekend and the boys were chirping the other team. You know what I said to him, Jim Bob? I was like, be classy about it. Be gentleman about it. That'll piss people off more than you being a dick. So when you can do that, when you can be like, "Ah, you adorable walnut," that gets them more mad than as if you were to say, "Fuck you, you fucking cunt," because
the idea
because
of
that's
killing
what they
them
want.
with kindness. Spacey said it. Kill them with kindness.
Kill them with kindness. The next day, the guy died. That's fucking
horrible.
That's fucking
the
true.
reality
Dude.
we live in is sick.
Well, okay, so there was one more point like in that video that actually now that you guys are talking about like the mysterious thing of guys dying that he brought up that tied a lot of weird things back together. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with Isaac Cappy when he had his whole little breakdown and stuff, but something that I actually didn't know that existed that kind of freaked me out.
Could you play that video of his? Because that's an interesting. I wish he played.
Oh yeah, the videos of him talking are super interesting. I'll see if I can pull one up. But
yeah, he was interesting. I remember this story.
I had never seen this photo that was taken off somebody's dash cam of him chilling by the fucking interstate top right there. And, like that was kind of like nerve-wracking a little bit, you know, like
yeah, man.
Oh, and he went on some rants, you know, and he was tying in people like Dane Cook and Spacey and Seth Green and other people that are mentioned on at least the Epstein flight log, not the exact client.
It's the Brittany Murphy, it's the James Holmes syndrome, right? These
all
guys
get
something happens, and all of a sudden they get completely spaced out, like they've been drugged or fucked with mentally in some way, and then bye-bye. At some way, one way or another, it's bye-bye. And
this is the thing.
It's uncanny.
With this much money, have the ability to get things done. You know, I have spoken to people, and I can tell you that getting things like this done is not as expensive as you think it is.
No, I know it's not.
Once you talk to the right people, you realize, holy shit, this
Listen, I'm going to use made-up names here, but fucking Christ, you call old Tommy T down the road for $5,000, he'll go break your neighbor's legs. And, like, he wouldn't, you know.
Tommy, that's a little expensive. Here, I can $4,000 for breaking legs.
He's a good guy, by the way. You know, it's just,
$5,000, Johnny. Fucking Danny just offered to go steal Ruby, my old dog, for like fucking $200.
$200, there you go. Okay, you know what? You know what's funny? It's probably more expensive to kill a dog than to kill a human.
Oh, I actually agree with that. I'm down with that evaluation, actually.
Unless you're a police officer in the United States, where 25 are killed per day.
So the interesting thing from my perspective is, see, when it was going down, the Isaac Cappy thing was actually going down, and his breakdown, I guess you would call it, was happening. I was actually following his YouTube and stuff, and kind of in the comment section during the whole thing. And
I remember after the fact, after he passed away, I was like, what is this story about?
From a personal perspective, I watched his videos go from him basically exposing people, and like nobody ever refuted any of the things he claimed, like the stuff with Tom Hanks and other things like that. No one has, I want to point out, no one has refuted any of the claims he made. And one of his last videos, which I don't know if this clip that I'm going to share with you guys is going to have anything in that, but one of his last videos, the demeanor changed, the attitude changed, and he's sitting there constantly looking off to the side like there's someone else in that room with him making him say what he was saying in that last video. And if you're not familiar with it, man, all you got to do is just search up Isaac Cappy, and there's a ton of videos on YouTube even still of the things going on, man. And I do recommend it. I won't play this little clip that I got here that's got a little bit of stuff on it, but you can just see the change in demeanor and just like, I don't know, man, like there was something going on there, I believe.
Steven Spielberg is a pedophile. Yep. Oh, I'm not going to talk about Tom Hanks either, who is also a pedophile. Tom Hanks, folks, is a pedophile. I'm sorry if this is the kind of bursting your bubble, all this information is new, but it's God. Yes, Dan Schneider is...
We'll bring him up in a second here.
Of course, a pedophile. Is Oprah a pedophile? Well, let's see. Hanks, Weinstein, I mean, the company she keeps, as rich as she is, I have a feeling she is very high up in the cult. And this, make no mistake, this is a cult. There is a widespread cult that is worldwide. And it's fucking bad, guys.
Yeah, that's...
I'm not suicidal.
That last video.
Am I afraid of something?
That's it.
Should be, because bad things are coming my way. I can assure you of that.
Jesus.
Everyone's afraid. They're afraid to come out. It's scary, guys. People get killed over this shit. It happens all the time. It happens all the time.
Now, they did show a little bit of the clip from that last video that he did, and even in that little bit of clip, he's like shit. He was answering questions because I was in the comment section that night. I remember this going down, and he would answer questions, and then he would also be like this the entire time. Like that whole last video that he made, he spent it looking off to the side.
And the
like
fact,
someone was
how many times are people going to be like, I'm in danger, and then get killed, and no one does anything? It seems to happen.
Okay, so that happened in Puerto Rico. I think it was Carson the other day, like randomly put it in there. Because when we were joking about you're not suicidal and such. A person that's in the crypto space and had innovative tools built in the crypto space said that the CIA was after him and that there is a pedophile rings happening and human trafficking happening in Puerto Rico, which I know for sure is real. There's a lot of human trafficking in Puerto Rico. He died right where I lived. Like,
we brought him up a couple times.
200, 300 feet from where I lived. And
that's horrifying.
But
the thing is, like he said in Twitter, and it became viral because literally it was like a few days before he died, said that they're after me. My girlfriend is an agent. He basically says that his girlfriend is an agent. I don't know if you have that Twitter. I would have to search for it.
I've shared it before, and I'll see if I can share it with this episode just so that you guys can check it out because it is.
But it has.
What about that guy that captured the police station in that little town in America there? That he's like, they're after me, and he caught the van driving by, taking surveillance of him. Like this stuff is happening.
It's snowing hard where you are.
Yeah, dude. I decided to show you guys. I'm heading over.
You're
sorry for that.
IRL. Oh, by the way, have you heard of Andy Dick?
Yeah,
oh my God, homeless,
dude.
Homeless.
I just saw a mini dog on him. Wow.
Is that how much it's snowing there, Johnny? Fucking
yeah,
not even snowing here.
Yeah,
it's fucked up, dude. Like we are in a huge storm. It's like, yeah,
it's quiet, isn't it? Though the audio is great.
Oh yeah,
nice.
I love the
nice.
snow.
It's nice.
Oh,
have you ever looked how close to Buffalo, Curtis, like where I live? Like, I am right beside Buffalo. I have zero snow.
When I was up there, I was walking distance to Route 5 in Lake Erie. I worked at a gas station on Lake Erie. So like that shit would get wild over there, bro. Like it'd be negative 18 degrees outside because I'm right by the lake and the highway.
That's negative 18 Fahrenheit, though.
Yeah. It's still fucking cold.
Yeah, that's very cold, but not that cold.
The coldest I have lived here, it was negative 18, around there.
Where my family lives, it gets to minus 52.
Damn.
In Winnipeg, almost every year.
I mean, but your guys already also have better systems to be like.
Oh, you plug your truck in every night. You plug your truck into a block heater and it heats your truck, so your truck will start in the morning.
If not, the car won't start because it's too cold.
Yeah,
and that's the thing is like that when they started putting ethanol into fuels, which was really stupid in certain regions, like
ruined everything.
Yeah, because now they don't, right? I imagine they stopped doing that. Yeah. Okay.
They do up here, but only like 8% or 7%.
But it was so stupid that they started raising.
Hey,
the
Jim Bob,
upside.
I just gotta give me 5, and I'll be right back.
going, yeah.
And then Nick's gonna ask that question, but you
Yes,
boys
of
keep
course.
going for 5.
Oh,
Actually,
right.
when I went to when I spent a year in Alaska with some family when I was younger, and was the first time I actually got to see one of those heaters that you're talking about. So I've that's actually some pretty neat stuff because it'll get so cold in some parts that shit will fire up, man. Like if you don't have it heated up, it's just gonna fucking
And
be dead.
people want to stop using hydrocarbons.
Well, we in Canada we like our hydrocarbons, and we should. Which
the only people that say that is people that don't even understand how electricity is made. I swear to God, these people do not even understand the concept of how. And I have asked people, hey, how is electricity actually made? I mean, I'm not asking them to tell me everything, but the majority of people really don't understand how the electricity is generated. And the simplest answer, it's steam turbines.
Everything is steam turbines. There's no such thing as making electricity without them. I won't
solar
talk about
panels,
the company,
but they're not efficient.
But I'm a nuclear operator. I work in a nuclear plant. I make the electricity.
The best electricity there is.
It's the only electricity to make in my mind.
Yeah.
And I work there. I will not talk about the company because I don't know if I can, but
don't worry. But nuclear power is the safest, cleanest, like the best option we could all have as a society, as a civilization. And
people just don't understand. They just don't understand how it works.
Because of the fear mongering from the hydrocarbon companies.
Yeah, and it is incredibly safe. Like the amount of tests we do, the amount of stuff we do, it's unbelievably safe.
Recently, I just saw interesting news that many countries in Europe are now going to build the new nuclear reactors, and that uses a fuel that only Russia produces it. But the U.S. invested like $700 million in producing the fuel here in the United States.
So I don't know about that. I have to look into
it. That's been recent news. So you can look up.
That's true. That is true. Yes. Confirmed.
Oh, you've been hearing about it. Yeah.
So there's a huge difference. Like when we talk about
a movement again back to nuclear. Finally, after decades of stupidity, the governments are like realizing, you know what, nuclear was the best option, and then everybody with a brain cell is like, oh my God, they're listening to us. What do we do? Yeah. What do we do?
Yeah, well, especially if you want to eliminate greenhouse gases and you're not gonna
nuclear power
nuclear into the equation, then you're just dumb. Like,
and that's why I tell people the IPCC report is not legitimate, because they never mention nuclear power. And when you don't mention the best possible highest energy per kilogram, you're out of your mind. You're lying. You're just shilling. You're just shilling. Absolutely. You're not science.
But I will tell you that like nuclear power is not efficient. It's not. It's more efficient than coal. It's more efficient than say like wood. But like when you look at efficiency, you look at how much you burn, how much wood comes off, or how much heat comes off, and how much power you can make from that. Nuclear power, and I probably shouldn't even say this, but it's technically only about 30% efficient. So
dude, it was like 3. It was like 3% when it started. So it's exponentially gone up in efficiency.
Oh, and it will only continue to go up.
No, I mean, look at this. One thing you can look up American nuclear reactors, military nuclear reactors. Whatever you guys have, the U.S. is like 30 years ahead of you.
But that's not true.
Military.
Wait, that's not true at all. That's zero true. There's zero
militarily for sure.
To that. There's not a single sense of truth to that.
Militarily, Nick, he's talking about. I think he's right.
Talking civilian.
But wait. Hold up. Let me jump in. Nick is right when he's talking about can-do reactors, which actually obviously by the name created in Canada. That is now outdated, but what we have now are small engine reactors.
But that's not true also, John.
They're little minis now.
That's also
and that's coming from Canada. But Luis, when you say America's military is ahead of ours, I'm going to just go ahead and concede because they must.
But you have to concede because Canada developed most of the technology that's in a nuclear submarine.
I'll tell you, my boy Nick here's worked in the industry.
I'm not going to fight you on that.
But I'll tell you this, Luis. Nick's worked in the industry. He's been in it for over a decade. You know, and my girlfriend too. What I think I've mentioned it before, guys, but I'm from Springfield. I'm from the real life Springfield, from The Simpsons, because we have.
Actually, I am not you.
There's 15 Springfields.
Yeah, well, so we have in Ontario, we have the largest nuclear power plant in the world, and then a couple of the top 10. Like we are
also the oldest, which is the one I work at.
Yeah, exactly. So we do roll deep in nuclear.
What's the power generation of that plant?
30% of Ontario and a bunch of New York, Luis.
I should not even say this, but Pickering, where I work at, produces each reactor produces 500 megawatts or 520 megawatts, and then at Darlington, the one beside us, they produce about 1,200, and then another one produces about
Bruce Power,
it produces about I would say about like 800 or 700 to 850. It all depends on the reactor. It all depends on the size.
So
and how many units they have running. Like what you don't realize is these things are constantly like being shut down, flooded with water, released, and blah blah blah. It's insane. And every 10 years they're about to close it, but then they refurbish it. But we do need new stuff. Like that is true. There's probably new, cleaner stuff. So I mean,
and there's a hedge for fusion, right? That's a separate problem.
Fusion and fission is two different things.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's a hedge to try to develop fusion as fast as we can.
Yeah. So all we have right now is fusion reactors. But if we could have a fission reactor, that would be.
I mean, Lockheed Martin supposedly said that by now that they would publish their commercial reactor, but
they already do. They just don't know how to contain it. They don't know how to contain it in a small space so that it makes feasible power. If that makes sense, like they can already do it. They already know how. They're not dumb. They just can't contain it to a How do you build metal that contains the highest? Like a fission reaction that contains the highest amount of heat ever produced by human power, basically. Like, what do you do?
It's a fascinating problem. Yeah.
I'll tell you this. How does my beer turn to slush in 2 seconds when I open it? That's the question. That's what we're dealing with. Wait.
It was liquid.
It's cold.
Slush?
It's slushy, man.
Yeah, it's like
it's cold. It's like a beer slushy.
So is it a chemical reaction that happens?
No.
Yeah, I think a little bit, right? I think a little bit because it wasn't like this when I opened it. Okay, guys, not to be rude. Let's ask that question and get on, and then I gotta go in like 15 minutes. It's just a cool Nick. Me and him were just brainstorming, so Nick just hit him with the question.
All right. So what my question is we've been watching, Russia invade Ukraine, and then Putin, obviously, with his stance. Donald Trump never came out and condemned it, never said nothing. So my question is how long until the U.S. invades Canada?
And how are you guys?
It's happening already. Wait.
Let me finish.
I have the clip.
I personally think if Donald Trump is elected president in 2024, he will seriously consider invading Canada. Why wouldn't you? We have basically no military. We have no nuclear weapons anymore at all. We have nothing except for the only thing we have is the biggest nuclear establishments that could hurt the U.S.
Yeah.
If you bombed Pickering, that would kill Detroit. If you bombed Bruce, that would kill Buffalo.
New York too. Yeah.
They're reconsidering the North American Union again.
Oh no. That's not good.
Never heard of the North American Union. Okay, let me get this clip. So I literally heard this today. Wait, let me see if I
That's not good. And Luis and Jim Bob, let me pick your brain while Luis looks this up. How are you boys gonna roll up on us, you think? You coming from Alaska? You coming from, where are you coming from, Jim Bob? Give us a little inside scoop.
I ain't doing nothing but sitting down here at the farm, bro.
Okay, this is the clip. They're talking about the Mexican side, but this is the clip. This is from like a few days ago.
Mexico's president says he has been holding discussions with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. The topic is the possibility of merging the American continent into one government based on the model of the European Union. President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador says
fucking horrifying.
Consolidating the North American region, and that it is something they both agreed on. The Mexican president continued that he is in favor of the unity of the entire American continent.
Oh, that's scary.
Canada, the United States, all of the Americas. Representative Matt Gaetz sounded the alarm on Fox News.
I don't want my constituents having to live under the socialist tyrannical lockdowns enacted by Justin Trudeau Castro while their nephews being poisoned by Mexican
Castro Jr.
That apparently is the globalist order.
Am I wrong or am I right?
They give away our money and our chance of a brighter future overseas.
I knew these guys
Matt
were
Gaetz
the
got
right-
lines. I'll
That was Matt Gaetz at the
Nick,
end.
we need to build a wall ASAP. We gotta build.
I know we need to
Build
build
a
a
wall
wall.
around a
We need to build
reactor.
a wall of shipping containers like they did in Arizona.
No, all you need to build a wall. Build a wall of trees. Nobody knows how to cut them down.
That's right. We'll get Tecumseh to run in and out of them like the War of 1812. We'll scare y'all off with some Indian cheers.
I love that you brought that up because what I wanted to say is let's just remember the only war that America's ever lost
was with
is
Canada.
That's fact. That's fact.
Fuckers burning the White House.
Fact.
That's a fact. We are the
Louis,
only
you actually know that.
Yeah, I know that you burned down the White House.
I just want to interject really quick.
Yeah.
That's one of many that they lost, because remember, rice farmers and goat herders have sent them packing.
That's my guy. That's my guy right there. Vietnam and Afghanistan. Let's go. No, but Luis, can I just make a quick tangent there? It's so impressive you know that, because I'm telling you, I worked, like I've told you many times now, on Parliament Hill. We had Ohio and Michigan interns that would come up. Rich, privileged motherfucking kids that would say stuff to me like this, Luis. Oh, are you guys fans of war? Because we're the best at it. Stuff like that. And we would always be like, well, do you know this thing about the War of 1812? And Luis, these were supposed to be the most intelligent y'all had, sending them up here for internship. They didn't know that existed.
I'm from Puerto Rico.
They did. They did. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Except for their hockey players, they were very smart.
We don't have many hockey players now. We have
No, but
baseball players, basketball players, and every other sport you can possibly imagine, except hockey. We're not good enough. We're good at everything else.
There's white people. Sorry, that was a little bit racist, but
according to your
Nicholas,
government, you're not inclusive enough.
Can I tell you this, boys? And I'm not trying to be mean, but it's amazing because I was like, Nick was a little nervous. This is for anyone watching. This is my good friend Nick. He's first time ever talking like this in a public setting. I pushed him to it. I think you've done very well. You've stopped asking, can you speak, which is a good step to get to. And then your camera angle, Nick, we're going to talk about that. We're going to work on that. Because I told him to set his phone on the table, but I should have made it clear. The angle has
so that he doesn't have that boomer angle. He doesn't have that boomer angle going on.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I just painted my house this weekend. So I was trying to show off the walls.
It's not the paint. It's the looking up your nostrils.
Well, that can't really be that bad.
Nick, I'm just kidding with you. I love you, brother.
No,
but I was trying to show up the paint on the walls. Like, look, it's called classic gray, but it looks white to me.
It does look white.
It's
classic gray.
Nick, did I not tell you that these boys were the perfect guys to ask that question to? I love, Luis, that you had that queued up. That's one of the.
I recorded that clip.
The scariest fucking things
I recorded
I've
that
heard.
clip. An hour ago. I recorded that clip an hour ago.
Fuck off! Seriously?
Look, I'll show
That's
you.
how we roll, bro. That's how we roll.
That's fucking horrifying.
I recorded this
for those. John, for those who John, and for also for the listeners and stuff that don't know, like we're the crew that works together on this show and on like Facebook pages. And there's a couple people you guys haven't even ever met because they are camera shy, but they work with me like on the Facebook pages and stuff. We have news coming in from any and every angle you could possibly think about. Even while I'm asleep, I'll wake up to messages because I've got dudes from the East Coast to the West Coast.
That's so cool, man.
And even over in Australia, staying on top of this shit.
And this is a good way, I think, a good segue towards our goodbye, guys, this is what this is all about. We're building a grassroots media family. I'm getting people telling me news stories from Libya.
Yeah.
I'm getting people sending me messages like, please don't say my name because I'll be murdered. I'm not kidding, and it's fucking pretty fucking cool, man. And I take it very seriously. And yes, we're just sitting here shooting the shit, and I get comments like, bro, why are you concerned with this stuff? Just live your life and be happy. And it's like, fair, but we need to talk about this stuff, and we are talking about it, and people are talking, and people from other countries are talking. And
I'll give you good news. Libyan, it looks like the war in Ethiopia has ended.
For now, good. That is good. What was that? The ceasefire thing I was reading about? Briefly, I think I know what you're talking about.
But it's become far than ceasefire. The problem with that country is like there was a massive media blackout.
There were a million active troops. There were a million active troops in Ethiopia. It was the biggest war going on in the world.
I know. That's what. But the media blackout and nobody giving a fuck.
No one
about
cares.
Ethiopia.
It's just Ethiopia. Who gives a fuck, right? Yeah, it's terrible.
It actually shows the Eurocentric racism that exists in Europe. It's actually more extreme than people can realize. And people talk about America being the racist. I'm like, buddy.
Europe.
Have you ever heard about Europe?
Yeah, go to Quebec. Go to Quebec, Canada. Go to fucking Quebec, Canada, and see how racist they are.
Listen, go set any of us in the Middle East and see how long we last.
Fair. I can maybe, Luis, me and you can maybe pull it off. We got like the dark beard. We could maybe he
just can't say. He just can't wear those colors.
That's right.
The Saudis, I'm like, you look too fruity.
Yo, I'll also say this: the Biden administration just condoned that the Prince of Saudi Arabia, who assassinated,
he forgave him,
chopped up a Washington Post columnist, is immune from justice.
You want to hear a quick story on Khashoggi, real quick?
Yes.
Real quick. All right. Khashoggi's brother was an arms dealer. Sure. Khashoggi's brother personally knew Trump because Khashoggi's brother sold him a boat.
Awesome.
Does not make Trump more fucking guilty?
Whoever you are,
not guilty because he was not associated with it.
Whoever you are in Saudi,
associated with it.
Whoever you are in Saudi Arabia, hanging out on my website, please don't take offense to any of these terrible jokes we're making this evening because I love.
We're talking about their leader, not the. Oh, you imagine it is the Khashoggi family. Hi, Khashoggi.
Yo, did you see that Andrew Tate converted to Islam too? I saw that, and I thought that was
God, that guy is doing everything
to trying so hard, man. Like just trying so hard.
He's such a con artist. It's fascinating.
One of the best I've seen.
A good con artist.
He's got an army, man. He is back on the talk. I see his stupid fucking videos every day now. I hit uninterested, but they keep showing them to me.
I mean, because he has the money to like circumvent the system through. But
well, he's got his little Hustler University crew goes around and they all post. That's
what people don't get. It's like he is running a scam.
True. Boys, I gotta cut this short. I gotta go.
No. Really do you got any final words before you cut out for today?
Jim Bob, it's a fucking crying shame that you got censored. We're gonna figure something out. Thank you for helping me and Nick get a little footing here and have a chat with y'all. And,
I should go too.
And it was so awesome to reconnect with you guys. We got to do this. I'll make it more of a weekly thing, but you know how life is.
Anytime, John, you're always welcome over here. It's a pleasure to have you. Of course, you guys know we'll have all of his links to get back to him because he does some amazing stuff, man.
I appreciate that, brother. We're out there. We're grinding. We're getting about 1 million views a week. I haven't been shadow banned, but I'm noticing some of my videos are getting. Anyways, besides all that, we're going to keep grinding. We're going to keep just giving weird news with a little humor. A little bias. We do our own research. We talk about it. Let's go. That's it.
Right, Nick, you got any final words for us before we sign out for tonight, man?
I had a lot of fun with you guys. Thank you for having me. It was a great time. I fucking love the beanie. I love L'Oreal. You guys are great. I'll come back anytime.
Yo, by the way, Jim Bob, Louis Riel was a French rebel who was assassinated. He was an Aboriginal guy. Our government killed him back in the 1800s. So
correct.
It's a cool, it's a cool label for you. Yeah, dude.
I appreciate it. I dig it. Man.
Come back anytime.
That's definitely one of the nicest things anybody's ever said to me. So I appreciate it.
There it is.
Yeah, text Johnny. Hook me up with Johnny, and I'll fucking talk to you guys offline. That'd be great.
Yeah, man. Next time, next time we'll get connected, bro, for sure. I like this. Luis, you got anything for me before we finish up?
I forget when the Canadians came in 18.
Let's say go Sens go.
1812.
Canadian scum attacked us and burned down.
Fuck the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Damn you, Canadians.
And just because I think you're both in Tennessee, Texas, we'll say go Seahawks go.
Seahawks.
Seahawks. I'm in New York. What?
Yikes!
I'm next door to you.
Well, of course, you guys know that I can't sign out of here without giving you guys at least one good pirate joke before we finish up for the night. So, why did the man pirate divorce his woman pirate?
Why?
They were arguing too much. You guys have a fantastic evening. Thank you.